Today I wanted to show you how I am activating my kefir grains. And these are kefir milk grains. What I've done is poured the kefir grains into a quart-sized mason jar, and then I added milk. And then the instructions say you want to check it every 12 hours, and when it started to thicken, then you're going to strain it through a colander like this, a sieve, so that you can catch the kefir grains, but everything else goes through it. So if you can see this right here, this is pretty thick. It's supposed to be at least as thick as heavy cream, and this is thicker. It's almost like yogurt, and that's because I let it go a little bit longer than 12 hours, but that's totally fine if you catch it a few hours late. You also can smell it, and if it smells pleasant, kind of smells like a creamy Greek yogurt, that's a good sign that your activating is working. So I'm going to pour this through the sieve over the sink. I'm not going to save the milk right now. You could possibly save it and use it in baking, but I'm just, you only do this about 7 times. And then once you're done with that, it's activated and you don't have to worry about wasting any milk anymore, as long as you stay on top of it. I'll show you what the kefir grains look like when I put them through the sieve. All right, so I'm going to pour this through the sieve. And then as it drains, you can see that there's kefir grains left. So I'm just gonna scoop up those grains. It's not a lot. And then I'll add them back to my jar. And then I'm gonna add milk. And then you cover it with I'm gonna use cheesecloth or a coffee filter, and then just put a rubber band around it to keep it in place. All right, so once you've added the milk to your kefir grains, then you're gonna set it on your counter and let it sit for 12 hours, and then you'll check on it, and if it has thickened, then you'll do what I just did and drain the kefir grains, add them back to the jar, and then add milk again. I bought these kefir grains made for milk kefir from Cultures for Health. I know you can buy them on Etsy. There's several places where you can buy them, but that's where I got mine. There are some things that you need to make sure you do. When you're activating milk kefir, you need to use homogenized whole milk. It shouldn't be raw milk when you're activating. You can use raw milk later once your grains are all activated. But start with the homogenized milk, and you don't want it to be this super overly homogenized either, just regular whole milk. The first time that you activate your kefir grains, on day 1, you're going to add 1 cup of milk with your kefir grains. And then if it's thickened, you'll move on after 12 hours, strain them, and add 1.5 cups of milk. Now, on day 1, after the 12 hours, mine had not thickened. It wasn't even the consistency of heavy cream. If that happens to you after the 12 or within 24 hours, if it still hasn't thickened, you need to strain your kefir grains and then add the same amount of milk that you did before. So this would be 1 cup that I added to my kefir grains a second time. So if you were in the middle of this for some reason, you'd done 2.5 cups of milk added to the kefir grains and it still hadn't thickened after 24 hours, then you would strain and then add the kefir grains back into your jar and add 2.5 cups of milk again. After it's thickened and you are ready to add milk again, you're going to add 1/2 cup more than you did the previous time. So this time, I added 2.5 cups of milk because yesterday I added 2 cups. So this happens about every 12 hours if you don't forget about it. So last night was when I added the 2 cups, and this morning is when I should have added 2.5 cups, but I forgot until this afternoon. So, so now I'm gonna start from 12 hours from this afternoon, and I'll check on it again. And if it has thickened again, I'll strain the kefir grains out, put them back in the jar, and add 3 cups of milk. Now you only have to do this until you get to 4 cups of milk. And then if everything's been thickening and it smells great, a little bit like yogurt, then you know that your kefir grains are completely activated and ready to use to make whatever you wish. I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, please feel free to message me on Instagram or Facebook. I'll talk to you later.